What's going on, everybody? My name is Yuka. Welcome to my Fortnite top tips for winning. Today I want to share with you some tips that help you secure your first win or increase your win rate in Fortnite's Battle Royale mode. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and it helped you out, but without any further delay, let's go. Tip number one is going to be starting items. You can increase your chances at winning a firefight with decent starting gear right from the get-go. Now, I know that doesn't mean you're going to win every single fight that you get into, but starting and knowing good loot spawn locations or good routes to maximize the loot can really get you ahead in the beginning of the game. Though that's not the be-all and end-all. I've actually won a game where I had terrible jump location, loot was super scarce, and it probably took me close to 5 minutes to find a weapon. So don't think that bad starting gear is going to set you up for a loss. That is pretty much all in your head. Although having good starting gear does help you get ahead in the early game, like I said. You can always pick off other players at the very beginning, which will help you get more loot and swings things in your favor, which segues into my next tip. Tip number two is going to be picking unfair fights. Now, you can't always pick every fight in Battle Royale, but the ones that you can pick, you want to set them up to be as unfair as possible. Not unfair for you, obviously, but unfair fights for who you're going up against. You could easily be outclassed by weapons or a better player in Fortnite's Battle Royale, so setting up a fight that's going to give you a tactical advantage levels the playing field between you and other players, or it can give you the edge you need to outplay or outmaneuver other players, giving you a major upper hand. This is something that takes practice, but keeping other players to your right shoulder, for argument's sake, is for easier target acquisition is a huge help. Moving cover to cover or cover to concealment before, during, and after a firefight, or building cover on the fly, these are major things that can give you a super unfair advantage, and a lot of players don't consider this. The last thing players expect you to do in a gunfight is the last thing that they're going to do, so building a wall for cover or a ramp to get you out of a tight spot can be favorable in most situations. Again, this takes practice to think of quickly, and in a heated fight of the storm moving in closer, it might be pretty tricky to master, but it's a huge trick or a huge tool that you can have up your sleeve. Who said winning had to be clean or fair, right? Tip number three is in relation to potions and shields, or potions are shields, same kind of thing. I can't stress this enough. It takes about, 5 seconds for you to drink a potion, so just do it. If you pick one up, even if you have items that are filling your inventory, find something that you don't mind switching to or dropping for a few seconds and be prepared in case you get jumped. But drink that potion. I can't tell you how many times I've shot another player and killed them in like 3 or 4 shots just to have them then drop a potion. It's an easy fight that I could have easily lost had they had that potion and drank it and outclassed me in health. So each potion gives you 50 additional hit points. 2 potions doubles your health. If you're not drinking potions, then you're really not playing to win. It's something that so many players overlook, and if you drink it as soon as you pick it up, you're going to have a major advantage. Tip number 4 is picking the right tool for the right job. This ties into picking unfair fights, but it's hugely important, so I wanted to give it its own dedicated talking point. Whenever I can, I try to carry an auto rifle, so something like the AR or the SCAR, a sniper, and a shotgun. These are my go-to guns in Battle Royale. Anything after that, for me, is just a bonus. Now, there's a specific reason for trying to obtain these weapons. Firstly, an auto rifle is great for semi-accurate fire at medium and close range, but it lacks any real accuracy for those super long-range, precise shots. This is why I try to find a sniper rifle if I can get my hands on one. Last but by no means least is the shotgun. The shotgun is absolutely phenomenal and devastating at close range. It's probably just as easy to find as auto rifles or pistols. So whenever I enter a house, I'll usually switch to a shotgun due to its devastating damage and high accuracy in close quarters. It's a small detail, but it's super important to helping you stay alive. If I go up against another player at short range and they have a shotgun and I don't, I'll usually back off and try to outrange them even if I have a rifle or a pistol, just because I am fully aware of how devastating the shotgun is up close. Tip number 5. use headphones or earbuds. I use a fairly affordable set of OMG gaming headphones, and they're absolutely awesome when it comes to listening for footsteps and gunfire. You don't necessarily need an expensive pair of headphones or earbuds, because pretty much anything will get the job done, as long as you can hear your surroundings. They give you way more situational awareness, and it's what you really need to be abusing or using and abusing to stay alive and get to the end game in Battle Royale. Sound can be your best friend or your enemy in a lot of games, and it's definitely your friend if you make the most of it in Battle Royale. Remember to crouch walk, crouch run when close to enemies. You might be stalking, or if you're trying to pick up on enemy movement. Full sprint most of the time is going to be super loud, and most players run around at full sprint a lot more than you would imagine. You can win a lot more gunfights if you get the jump on players because you could hear them coming. Tip number 6 is going to tie into playstyle, and there's two main real playstyles in Fortnite's Battle Royale. Those are both passive and aggressive. Personally, I like to play a lot more of a passive role. To me, it feels less rushed, more calculated, and you can lurk on the edge of the storm wall and pick players off as they rush to scavenge or make it into safety from into the storm eye. Secondly is the aggressive playstyle, and it's definitely a lot more risk playing aggressively, but the majority of that risk is in early game. If you start going to play aggressive as soon as you find a weapon, you'll want to start to engage players right off the bat. Get an early jump on them, loot them, rinse, and repeat. Once you hit endgame, if you're successful and you have a really good aggressive playstyle, due to the nature of that playstyle, you're going to snowball as kills pretty much build up, get you more loot, and simply based on the amount of loot and gear that you'll pick up, you'll have a major edge across a lot of skirmishes and firefights that you'll come across. There's pretty much nothing wrong with mixing it up, so use your judgment as you can land a win with either strategy. They're both viable options, and there's absolutely nothing wrong, like I said, with mixing up both passive and aggressive playstyles. Tip number 7 is going to be building. I know that ties in with a previous tip, but building is something that really happens a lot more in late game, and so many players neglect it heavily. I think it's partly due to the building controls and the slow or cumbersome learning curve that it has, but so few players build cover and utilize it well until the end game. You can create flanks, create cover, create new paths almost instantly, so most players, like I said, completely neglect this, and it's probably the most useful tool in most situations. If you can get down cover, or you can get down a new route to get you out of trouble or over the top of somebody, it's going to give you a huge advantage when they don't expect it and they don't do it. Tip number 8 is going to be movement and navigation. It goes without saying that at some point in Fortnite's Battle Royale, you're going to have to move from one location to another. Maybe you need loot, you're in a gunfight with another player, or you just have to push because the storm wall's moving and it's hot on your heels. Whatever the reason is for moving, always try and move on your terms and move to emphasize your advantages. Don't have an advantage, make one. Remember, when you have to move, move quickly and always scout your surroundings. There's been times when I've thought that there was nobody behind me as I've pushed back into the safety from outside of the storm wall, only to be killed by someone who just so happened to be a few steps behind me. If you're moving from outside the storm wall, it's a lot harder to hear players, and you'll be constantly taking damage. So always try to stay ahead of the storm wall and don't let it force you to make bad movement choices. Keep your movement deliberate and calculated. This will help you get the edge on other players. If you're in a tight spot, create flanks or cover, and make the most of concealment like bushes whenever possible. Move point to point if you're not rushing your location. Utilize your map, plan a route, set markers, and always try to have a backup plan for your path or route. If it's too risky or no longer plausible, figure something else out, or have, like I said, have another plan in effect. After all, we're playing to win. Well guys, thanks for tuning in to my tips on helping you win Battle Royale. If this video has helped you get your first victory in Battle Royale, then that is absolutely awesome. Go ahead and smack that like button if you like this video and it helped you out. Feel free to share, subscribe, both of those things are free. Good luck to everyone out there playing. I hope you start winning some more matches. Let me know if this video has helped you. Like I said, smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. And let me know if you have anything to add to this video by leaving a comment below. I've been Yuka, and I will catch you in the next one.